people like to think in black and white terms. Most people are just simplistic. That's, you can't get beyond it. Jessica is constantly with the, why don't they get this? Why, what, why does someone like this Laura Woods see something, and yet someone who runs a publishing house doesn't see it? I mean, if I open up, if this guy I told you who I wrote the elements of the story for, he's Craig something or other. Craig Cochran was his name. His book is a good little book. I think I rated maybe an 80, 85. It's a good, solid little novel. It's better than anything published. It's not anywhere in a league with my work or Jessica's, but I could see it obviously. I could see Don Moss's poems, his long book length poem Dominions. I mean, the only poem I would say that I would say is above that is The Bridge by Hart Crane in the last 100 years. It's
And
obvious that
your
it's a great book.
American Imperium?
Well, that's not a book length poem. The American Imperium is maybe about 15, 20 page, 18, 20 pages, something like that. Don's book is like what, 80 pages.
Yeah.
So, but and as far as I know, Don has written barely any poetry since then or before that. So he just had this one great flowering. But people think in these simplistic, dualistic terms: good, bad, right, wrong. I was arguing with some of these people on Quora, just to give you an example scientifically. They were talking how, birds are still dinosaurs. And I was saying, like, because just like they demoted Pluto, now they've gone from a process. You probably know the difference between monophily and paraphily in the separating of species, how a group can include another group. And so in that sense, they wanted the new paraphyletic way of looking at dinosaurs is that birds are on a par, aves are on a par with, say, sauropods, the brontosauruses, and theropods, like the meat eaters, like Tyrannosaurus and Allosaurus. Whereas I say, at least the old paraphyletic way of looking at it, birds have evolved past dinosaurs. I mean, and they didn't go beyond. We don't use the word, but yeah, all birds are endothermic. Some dinosaurs were, some weren't, some were in the middle. All birds have feathers. Some dinosaurs did, some didn't. All birds have beaks and no teeth. Those are three huge structural differences that make birds have gone beyond, just like the way apes have gone beyond monkeys, or monkeys have gone beyond their shrew-like, lemur-like ancestors. At a certain point, a difference in degree becomes a difference in kind, and a lot of the people in the sciences nowadays, natural sciences, don't agree with that or don't see that. But I think my view is the correct way to approach science and do it. But most people can't see that way. Most people want to be part of a structure. And other people, like this idiot Bob Grumman, who's now dead, and he might have been a decent guy, but he's a moron. But they so desperately want to be seen as different that they make up shit. So you have those extremes of the people who are so ensconced and want to be part of something, and other people who want to be rebels just to say that they're rebels and are not part of that thing, but they don't accomplish anything. Neither of those extremes accomplish anything. If you accomplish something, you should at least be rewarded with it or whatnot. And that's the frustrating thing dealing, and the stuff that gets me angry. It's not just about the cats and the publication and the work bullshit. I don't get as depressed about it as Jessica does, but it's frustrating, and it's frustrating to see people rewarded. I've mentioned sometimes some of the not so nice people I've known. And I'm not talking about the criminal element, just some of the people in the arts, some of the women that I dated who are users and abusers, and they don't see this. They don't have the ability to step out and look at themselves. But that's just it. You can't say anything more than that. They don't have the ability. Why can't I? I don't have the ability to dunk a basketball. I'm not that athletic. Even in my prime, and when I was 25 or so, I could not dunk a basketball. I couldn't even really come particularly close. And it's not because white men can't jump. It's just that this particular white man couldn't jump that high. But if they don't have the ability, I don't. It's like they don't have the ability. They don't have the ability. That's just the way it is.